Good afternoon, everybody. On today's Business Applications Lunch and Learn, on our 8th episode, we've got Jaime Perena from Microsoft AI. Jaime is a director and leading the initiative around the AI Business School. Jaime, how are you today?
Good, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. It's sunny here in Boston, and I hope the sun's shining in Seattle.
Good, actually good in Seattle.
Yes. Oh, good. Well, good. What we wanted to dive into today was the AI Business School and the massive amount of initiatives that Microsoft is working to help share around the initiative. Jaime, feel free to jump in and start your overview.
Good. Hi, thank you. So AI Business School is an initiative to help our customers to lead with confidence on the age of AI. AI Business School is a master class series for business leaders that can help them empowering and getting successful from AI. We're hearing constantly that our customers are embracing AI, but there are challenging some issues around understanding the depth of the technology or understanding how to leverage it properly, the implications on their business from a culture perspective, from responsibility. And that's why we have launched this initiative. And this initiative, you can help getting some practical knowledge to help defining your AI strategy. We have partnered with INSEAD Business School on that, and we have industry experts around your different areas, and also to help you understand how to foster an AI-ready culture. And finally, we put a lot of resources to help you understand how to do this responsibly and with confidence. So let me start sharing my screen so you can get a good sense of what you have available to. And this is everything I'm going to share is available for you free online, and you can start leveraging anytime, right? So in order to access AI Business School, you just need to go to www.microsoft.com. AI Business School is two ways you can find it easily. Just type in AI Business School. This is one way to do it. There is a shorter version of this, which is just going to say aka.ms AIBS, and you can also reach out to the online content. Okay. When you go into this URL, you launch into the main page, and here you can navigate the content easily. The content is structured around 4 modules. One module is about strategy. It's all about how you define your own AI strategy holistically for your business. The second module is about culture. The third one about responsibility. And we have included a technology one-on-one for business leaders. And that's super basic at this point. Okay, so when you get into
Jaime, it's critical. Most customers are really challenged with how do they get started, right? And how do they infuse that into their culture? It's not necessarily the tools, but it's understanding the mindset of the capabilities and the implications. And that's really what the school is here to help share and transfer that knowledge to, the executives that we work with. It's great.
I agree, absolutely, and that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to provide this tool so anyone can just consume it easily. So this is not something that they will need to go one step or no, they can jump to any of the pieces of the content that they are of their interest, right? So yes, power. So here starts with the defining an AI strategy. You can meet the professor from INSEAD that is driving most of the lectures. You can get a flavor of the content from this is Telefonica CDO or one of the case studies that I'm highlighting on manufacturing, or you can go directly and browse all the strategy content. When you click browse strategy content, you get directly into the learning experience. And in the learning experience, you can find automatically all the content around a strategy. So you see some horizontal contents like defining your own strategy or how to transform your applications or your employees. And we also can find some specific industry content about financial services, retail, manufacturing, or healthcare. Just for example,
what's great, Jaime, is that you can take those bite-sized pieces, right? So whether it's 10 minutes or if it's 20 minutes and really dive in. And when you log into the site, it's going to know where you left off and to be able to create almost like a tailored learning plan.
Absolutely. That's the idea, right? So you can go, for example, as you're saying, in manufacturing, and you can get like a 10 minutes lecture, or you can see the case study introduction or executive Q&A, and you can consume it randomly. It will remember, as you say, or you can do it the way it matters to you. Obviously, doesn't you might be on financial services, you might not be interested in manufacturing, so you don't need to go through all this hassle of going one step at a time. You just go and consume whatever works for you.
Yeah, that's excellent.
So that's the strategy content in a nutshell. I could tell more about that. But let me tell you a little bit more about the other modules. So, for example, the second module is culture. And culture would, in this case, instead of taking a vertical approach, we're taking more a horizontal approach. So when you get onto, and here's one example of our CFO. We have our CFO talking about how she is making sure she has an AI-ready culture in her finance department, right? Similar to the strategy content, you can also go and take a look at the entire amount of resources you have available about culture. Again, there's some content to help you understand and what is an AI-ready culture, and even we provide a maturity model for you to understand where you are on that journey. And you also have discussed how to do it in a finance department, in a marketing department, in a sales department, and customer service. And here, is we're so committed that we have our top leaders from our company engaged on telling how they're struggling in some cases and how they are succeeding on applying this AI-ready culture. Yes, for example, you get into, as I was saying, the marketing. For example, here's our. You see in this case, you see a case study introduction. You see our CMO talking about how he feels he needs to empower people in his organization about being successful with AI, and you have a case study resolution here, right?
Yeah, Jaime, I think it's important to point out that not only Microsoft CFO or Chief Marketing Officer Chris Capicella or Amy Hood, it's really taking that executive mindset and understanding here are the tools, but also here's how to weave it back into the culture and how to educate on how do people think about using machine learning or cognitive services in a marketing capacity or in customer service or to help accelerate revenue generation within sales, right? It's not only Microsoft is infusing it into the tools, but as we can see from even Microsoft's transformation, it's critical to make sure that it's woven into the fabric of the culture. And that's Absolutely. Where, this is from an executive standpoint, this is really designed for that executive and their organizations, not necessarily the developers or the people that are building solutions, but really how do you take it from an executive and weave it into the fabric of the culture of the organization? And that's where Absolutely. This differentiates. Yep.
Absolutely. All the content you see here is content that is for business leaders, and they can understand from a business perspective. And you know what? You can even download the content as PDF. So if you want to consume it at your pace and in a different environment, so it's easy for you to get. And just let me show you how, as you're explaining, we're talking about the challenges on adopting what was the approach. We talk about some cases and we'll talk about from the business perspective. So what is the outcome of doing these things from the business perspective, and some results, but we actually discuss how you can apply those lessons into your organization, or, for example, what are the tips from change management perspective, the things that matter most for this particular department, and what was the role of the leadership, and how we align, in this case, performance recognition in order to adopt AI successfully. But in some cases, we talk about, for example, resistance of adopting the technology. So, for example, when you get into going back to, I can move to the customer service. So this is a great example of how we actually it was difficult for the people on our customer service facilities to get this adoption of AI because they were feeling threatened, and actually you see the outcome of how differently and how right now they feel empowered with AI.
Yeah, that change management and understanding the why and how to leverage a new tool set, it's key, right? You want to accelerate that understanding to see this is going to save time, or it's going to create really excellent customer outcomes. And that's where the machine learning and the capabilities at scale really help to accelerate or make things faster, whether it's, pattern detection, machine learning, et cetera, et cetera. Like that's very helpful. So yeah, that change management is key.
Absolutely. Moving a bit forward, just to be spot on here, we have the third module, which is about responsible AI. And this is a very broad topic, but here what we do is three things. So basically, we help you understanding why this matters. And if you know why it matters, then we go to next step. It is how can I set up some principles to have this responsible AI. And if you are even beyond that, we discuss specific governance models, and we discuss how you can set up some maybe a chief ethics officer on your company, or how you can have use different tools to avoid bias, or in order to make sure that your AI is traceable and responsible. And then you will find some very useful as well as I discussed in the two previous models. You can go quickly and see the three stages. And for example, when you get in governance and external engagement, the same here. You have a paper and you have a video that will help you, for example, understanding how you build a governance model in your organizations, right? So all easy, as you can see, to consume and easy to finance here.
Jaime, I think it's great that Microsoft has such a strong stance around ethical use of AI and the implications and capabilities of reducing biases in HR processes, whether it's hiring or how you're using some of the API and the cognitive services, right? The discussion around that and the implications for a company. It's great to have a framework like this to act as a table for that conversation, right? Just because the tools are there and can help, how do you have that discussion within your organization as you're infusing it into your culture? That's critical. So it's great that that's a strong pillar of the program.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and finally, and just wrap up here, we have also, as we were saying, is a bit of technology for business leaders. And don't be scared, because this is super high level in your terms, and it's people that are explaining what is AI, what is machine learning, and explaining it, how these things can matter for your business, right? And all short talks are around 7 minutes long, so easy to consume, not very difficult, right? And if you already know, great, you don't need to do that. But if you have some questions, this is a place where you can get some super easy understanding of what is machine learning, on how to understand the AI technology with people that will really talk in a language that you can understand, right?
Yeah, I think that's critical, Jaime, right? So the vast and expansive AI capabilities, it's not just, machine learning or prediction or vision or speech, but it's constantly innovating. And the ability to elaborate or bridge, here is what the technology is, and here is how it can help to drive business outcomes, whether you're in finance or legal or customer service or sales, right? And to be able to explain that, I think it's raising everybody's muscle and capability around the capabilities of AI, but also here's how to take advantage of it to drive outcomes in your organization or in your business. So it's helpful to be able to bridge that from the technology back to the business.
Yeah. So this is in a nutshell what AI Business School is. As I said, sorry, I just got into okay. So as I say, you have all the content available online. It's easy to consume. Hopefully this will be something that will help you understanding better the key things that you need to take into account. I mean, this is obviously not the answer for all your problems, but hopefully will give you all the right questions that you need to ask in order to think about AI more strategically, or how the implications on your business, or how you're going to do it responsibly. And here from Microsoft, we're just on your side to help you make these things a bit easier, which we know in some cases is not that simple.
Jaime, this has been excellent, right? To dive into the four pillars of the AI Business School, but then also to showcase here the resources for getting started. our executives and the audiences that we work with, this is some of the challenges that they struggle with, of how to get started and the implications, and have that cultural infusion around AI. So this has been very helpful. We'll embed a lot of the links that you shared in today's show notes. But Jaime, I want to say thank you, and we really appreciate your time today. This has been very helpful.
My pleasure. Thank you.